Hi, I'm Dan Can. Hey, today's episode, if it had a title, and it does, are you ready? How to beat the big bad inflation man. Yes, when we come back, I'm going to teach you how to beat the big bad inflation man after this.
Most people chase success. Few build it on a foundation that lasts. On the Invested Life with Dan Can, we explore the intersection of faith, business, and personal growth, helping you invest in what matters most. This is your space to protect, provide, and promote with purpose. Join us now and start building a life you truly love.
Welcome back. Okay, well, unless you've been living under a rock in the last 3 to 5 years, we've all heard this magical word called inflation. And wow, it definitely has some power. Before we begin, I'm going to do my first disclaimer on the Invested Life podcast. And my disclaimer is this. Hey, did you know that I am not a lawyer? I am not an accountant, nor am I a registered financial advisor. But you know what I am? I'm an investor. I am a deal finder. I have a lot of joy, and I certainly love finding off-market properties, buying properties and businesses at a discount. I'm Dan Can. Thank you so much for being a part of this Invested Life podcast. This is the show where we believe in investing in ourselves, others, and businesses. The two businesses that I spend the majority of my time in are insurance and real estate. And I enjoy those tremendously because those two involve people. And I believe that I am in the people business. But the beauty about the real estate side of things is that you can actually invest and partner with me. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. I believe as a leader, as a husband, as a father, as a business owner, as a community member, I believe that my role, I have 3 roles. That's to provide, protect, and promote. And that is what this show teaches us, is how to provide, protect, and promote. I'm a follower of the way. I love Jesus Christ. He's my savior. And I definitely do my best to follow him. I fall short, as we all do. I'll bring in some ancient biblical principles, but I will also tell you we're sure going to have a whole lot of fun. So today you have the big bad inflation man, and whether you like it or not, he is a part of your life. I know I'm personifying something that's serious, but believe me, you got to pay attention to inflation. Recently, over the last 36 months, inflation has been anywhere from 2%, I believe, up to 4.5, maybe higher. The big thing about inflation that it eats away your buying capacity, and that's not fun. I'm going to talk about every good story. We need to know the setting. So the setting is 2025. It is September. I almost said August. And I will say that inflation is real. And I'm going to teach you how to beat that big bad inflation man. So our setting is September 2025. Who are the characters? Well, the characters are you, me, and the market. I'm going to encourage you to look at your life and your investments and your money as a business. Now, you might be a teacher, you might be a doctor, you might be a flight attendant. And you're like, I don't know a business. I'm going to tell you, oh yeah, you do. It's called You Inc. And you have a business and you're responsible for that business. And I'm going to teach you how to beat the inflation. So I've said that 3 times. I'm not going to try to say it again. That's a double negative. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to take what I believe is a great opportunity to win today. And it looks like this. The average income for investors that want to invest, you probably make anywhere from $100,000 and $120,000. That's the total sum of what you make. If you make $120,000 or $130,000 after federal taxes and all that other great stuff, and for right now, we're going to assume you don't have state income tax, you're going to bring home about $100,000, give or take. So if you have $100,000, that's yours. Inflation the next year is going to go up 2% on average. The government wants 2%, tries to get 2% inflation. If that happens, okay, that next year, if you make $100,000, your spending capital, if you will, is actually going to be $98,000 because that 2% is going to eat away that. And the next year, it's going to be another 2%. Now, unless you're getting, wage increases and all these other things, it's going to keep going down. So how do we stop that from happening, or how do we get on the right part of inflation? So our problem in the story is inflation and our buying power going down. The solution, I believe, is this: buy assets at a discount, and I'll show you how that works, and invest in opportunities that create double-digit returns. Surprise, I do both of those things every day. And that's why you may want to invest with dancan.com. That's my website, investwithdancan.com. I'll show you how to get double-digit returns. If you're an accredited investor, we can definitely help you out with that. So this is the magic, if you will, of how to beat that inflation, man. So I want to walk you through a property that I've talked about numerous times on the podcast. I found a property by Gonzaga University. I lived well and served the Spokane community here in beautiful Spokane, Washington, the inland northwest. And we found this property from a relationship from a wholesaler, and I bought it at $240,000. Okay, $240,000. At the time, the property tax assessed value, or what I'll say, basically the listing value, was about $350 or so, $340. So I bought it at $240. It's worth about $340. Well, then what I did is I put $60,000 into it. So now I'm into the property a total of $300,000. But what did I do? I forced appreciation because I put in 2 bedrooms and I put in a full bath. So now that Rambler, which is by Gonzaga University, is now worth $400 because I finished the downstairs. I put in 2 bathrooms. I put in a full bath. It has a massive garage. It's a 3-car garage. So now that property is worth $400,000. So I'm in the property $300,000. The property's worth $400,000. So if you lose $200,000 with inflation each year, I just bought myself 50 years of inflation guard. I should market that. I bought myself 50 years of inflation guard. But here's the beauty of real estate. I also get to deduct the interest that I pay on the mortgage. And I also get to write off some of the depreciation of the property, the structure, not the land, but the structure. In addition to that, that $400,000 property is going to go up on average 4%. I have inflation against the ropes. I mean, he doesn't know what's happening right now, but I do. Now imagine, instead of having 1 property doing this, if you had 2 or you had 4. And if you're able to get enough rent to cover everything, you're making additional money on top of that. Now, I'm not telling you to be a landlord. Believe me, there's some things that go with that are just a headache. But if you have extra capital and you have the mindset of like, yeah, I need to start a business called Me Inc. or My Family Inc. I want to beat this inflation. You should really talk to people like me. You probably have a family friend member who is in real estate, but there's just so many ways that you can make money and get ahead with real estate. You know, one of the amazing things about real estate is that it's tangible. It's real. I mean, it's in the name, right? What a great deal. If you can buy at a discount, and that's the key to this whole program, is being able to find that property, which at first was around $350, and buy it for $240. When I talk to potential investors, they have a really tough time believing that these deals are out there. And I can assure you they are. I get pinged, if you will, either through phone calls, email, or text, anywhere from 2 to 7 properties a week. Now, I've spent a good 7 years creating these relationships. And so you don't just start out, which is the beauty of partnering with someone who has those relationships, is you can jump in immediately. Now, of course, you want to vet them. You want to make sure they're trustworthy. You want to make sure they have a track record. You want to talk to prior investors that have invested with them. To date, the investors that I work with, 24 of them, to date, they have always been paid their capital and they've been paid their interest. I make sure that my investors are made whole each and every time. So to recap, what's the problem? The problem is inflation. What is the solution? Buy at a discount, find investments that have a double-digit monthly return, and make that compound interest work for you. And that's how you put inflation against the ropes. Hey, when we come back, I'm going to share a Dan Can musings that will help you with any problem that you currently have. What a promise.
Tired of missing real estate deals because you were waiting for the bank to approve your funding? At Wave Capital Investing, we get you funded fast with flexible terms and a streamlined process. No red tape, no stress. Apply today at wavecapitallending.com and ride the wave to your next successful real estate investment.
Welcome back. All right. So this is Dan Can Musings, one of my favorite parts of the show, although I love the whole show. And basically what it is I just notice things and I like to share them. This is a personal story. Once again, obviously Dan Can Musings is going to probably involve me or things I see. When I was in junior high, I played a lot of sports. I played football, I played basketball, I wrestled, I played baseball. Out of all those sports, I definitely loved baseball the most, but I was basically an above average baseball player. But a sport that I was really actually good at was running. You know, not a whole lot of skill set in that. You just go and you go faster than the other person. And so I loved running. I was a decent 800 runner. That was kind of my chosen event. And I had the opportunity to run with some friends from another junior high at the time. And then we ran together in high school. And this gentleman, his name was Dale Maycumber. And I went to high school with Dale. And Dale was a fantastic runner. Definitely better than me. And I'll never forget this. This is back in 1989, folks. And so we're running together and I'm trying to keep up because this guy was fast. And we were coming upon a hill and, you know, I was like, hey, we're going to go up a hill. And Dale looked over to me and he's like, hey, can I share with you how I approach hills? It's really helps me run and get fit and get stronger. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Of course, Dale. And he goes, you know, most people, when they run on a hill, they are thinking, oh man, I have to go up this hill. This is going to be really hard. And that's not the mindset you want to have. And so this is what I say every time I go up a hill, and you should do it too. And I'm like, okay, great. What do you talk to yourself? Okay. And he said, this is what I say. Hi, Mr. Hill. My name is Dale. I'm going to run up you today. And I thought that was a little odd. But I tried it. Nothing really happened. But then when I was by myself one time and I was running up a hill, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this. And so I said it. I said, hi, Mr. Hill. My name's Dan. I'm going to run up you today. And instead of seeing it as an adversary, I saw it as a partner. I saw the hill. I saw the struggle. I saw the problem as a way for me to benefit. I didn't know that in 1989, but what I was doing is I was changing my mindset. And when we have a problem or a conflict, oftentimes we're behind the 8 ball because we have the wrong mindset. When you take that opportunity to say, hey, I'm going to partner with this situation, I'm going to make a win out of it, I'm going to grow out of it, that is the way you win. And so whatever you're dealing with, and of course, I have no idea what it is, but whatever you're dealing with, what if you said, hi, Mr. Problem, my name is Dan. We're going to work this out, or I'm going to run up you. I'm going to win. And I can tell you from personal experiences through triathlons and other races that I've ran, there's a huge road race here in Spokane called Bloomsday. There's a famous hill called Doomsday's Hill. I can tell you I pass a lot of folks on that hill because at the beginning, I don't see it as a problem. I see it as something to partner with. I hope that encourages you. And the next time you're on a run or the next time you have a problem, just say that. Hi, Mr. Hill. My name's Dan. I'm going to run up you today. When we come back, I'm going to tie it all together.
Overwhelmed by taxes, payroll, and bookkeeping? Busy Bee Bookkeeping helps Spokane businesses save time, money, and sanity. From tax prep and planning to custom fit bookkeeping and payroll, we tailor every service to your needs. Take the sting out of tax season. Visit busybeebookkeeping.com or call 509-931-159 and let us keep your books so you can grow your business.
Hi, welcome back. We talked about a lot of important things. I'm pretty impressed that I threw out a disclaimer. That's pretty fun. That was a Dan Can never done before. And I will say, if you are interested in improving your financial picture, your investment, I would sure love to have a conversation with you. You can find my contact information at investwithdancan.com. We talked about the beauty of buying properties at a discount, investing in companies that help people finance properties at a discount. We talked about inflation. We talked about how do you get 50 years of inflation guard. We also talked about mindset. How you look at problems is really going to help you in regards to solve them. And I know that seems, well, duh. But I just want to challenge you right now. How many of your problems have you just been kicking around, but you never really isolated it and looked for a solution? Instead, you just let it kind of go up in your head and spend that space. And that's just not a great way to live. I'd encourage you to call it out, partner with it, come over it. I really believe by reading, we get to dive into wisdom. We get to dive into others that have gone before us. I believe in classics, the books of classics. A couple of episodes ago, I talked about, reading The Tale of Two Cities for the third time and how it exposes the heart of man. And the heart of man fundamentally is the same in 1788 or 1888 or 2025 or 1989. It's the heart of man. I have 5 books of breakthrough that I believe if you're trying to have an invested life, you should really read. I would love to send that list to you. If you would like it, you can simply email me at dancan@wavecapitallending.com. Once again, that's dancan@wavecapitallending.com. I'll send you the sheet that has the 5 books that have really blessed me. I love these books. The Power of Who is one book that radically changed my life. I constantly give that book out to family, friends, colleagues, people that I mentor, people that I disciple, because it's just a fantastic book about community and relying on one another and helping one another. I really hope that you have enjoyed this episode. I oftentimes say this. I hope you had half as much fun as I did, because I had a blast. And remember, Dan Can listeners, love well and do good. Thanks for listening.